I think that's not nice.
Well, for other things it's necessary. I feel like you're doing a meditation.
We're not doing a meditation.
We're not doing a meditation. So it doesn't matter to me.
But isn't it like irritating, like you're doing a meditation and somebody's locked out, and instead of coming in quietly, they're like,
Yeah.
hello!
Hey, what's
Anyone there?
Hi.
See?
There she is.
Imagine if you locked it.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to lock it. Because there's still like maybe 2 more people coming. What's your name?
Trudy?
Trudy.
Yeah, Sam.
Yes. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Alright, once Dasha sits down and then
Sure. Where's this?
Sharon hits sit down, then we'll start.
Yeah. As soon as Dasha's ass touches the ground, it starts.
Almost there, almost there, almost there. I'm trying to reach Nat.
What?
It's almost
Huge what?
trying to reach Nat.
Yeah, he I texted
Oh,
him.
he's microwave.
And you?
Oh, he said he's not coming yet.
No need to remember it. It's okay. Don't.
Gangbang! I remember.
Yeah, we all remember
you said
Gangbang.
it.
Come on.
So for those who weren't here like 3 weeks ago, we had a guest speaker come in, and he had this name way to this name game to remember names, and we had to use like some, I guess, similar word, and George used gangbang.
To my defense, he said the sexual things are much more
Yes.
memorable.
You did say that.
You did say that.
You did say
I
that.
took it really seriously. You
You're the
guys,
only one, yeah.
you guys not so much.
But today,
I still don't remember her name, just Gangbang.
just gangbang.
Yeah.
Just call me Mr. Gangbang.
Yeah. Mr. GB.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. But today we are going to be talking about change. And speaking of change, for everyone who has just taken a seat, I want you to change your seat now.
Oh.
No, but can I take this?
Yeah, take that.
That's what my students do.
Like, based on what? Give me more instructions.
Just change your seat.
What if everybody changes and I just stay here?
You miss this?
Yeah, Miss Sam, yes.
Raise your hand if you miss Simon Sign's energy. Yay! 11, you will have to turn this off because I'm sitting here now. Just a second. That's why I sit there.
I see. You can control that.
Yeah, I
That is
can't
people.
do
The weather.
Person
You can manipulate that. Oh, there's Nat.
I agree.
Ah,
It's
that's
right,
So,
right
yeah.
under my ass.
I'm just about to start here, and this guy's gonna walk in. But, yeah, so,
usually about that time.
hey guys, welcome to School of You after a couple weeks of being gone. Thank you guys for coming back, and for some new people we have here. Very happy to have you. And hello, Netanel.
Oh, hello there.
Welcome. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about change, and we're going to do a few activities to incorporate this idea of change and how it really is important and why it's super difficult to change. What are the attitudes about change that we all have, and how to also have some strategies, some tools to then navigate change and to be able to really understand and be okay with change. Because in the end, it's all impermanent, and I'm really happy to talk to you guys about this because I just went on a Vipassana retreat, and all it talked about was the idea of impermanence, and so it's really involving in change, and I'm happy that this is the first topic that I want to bring back. So, the first thing that I want to do, I'm just going to do a little activity here. I want you guys we're going to clasp our hands, but I want you to open your hands if you can here. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to bring them together and clasp your hands, okay? And just like leave it there, okay? No, not like all together, but yeah, you're going to like use your own hands and then you're going to come together in yours.
I'm gonna break her neck.
You're
You're in,
You wanna do it at the
in the
same
middle of it.
Alright, put it together. No, George, clasp.
Oh.
Clasp. So take a look at your hands. Which thumb is on top of it?
Right.
Left.
Left.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to tell.
Right.
You can just internalize this.
Oh, okay.
Just be aware of it, okay? Okay, cool. Now, I want you to open it up again. And now clasp it again. Which one's on top?
Same.
Same one?
I'm internalizing it.
So typically, this is a thing by Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says, based on what you clasp, your left hand on top of your left thumb on top of the right, you are more of an intelligence person. You have more intelligence. You have your right over the left.
Dumbass.
You're a creative person.
Yeah.
Close, the opposite. And then if you have them together, did anyone have them together? Yours is
I
together.
do.
Okay. This is about love. Okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to open your one more time, but we're gonna do the opposite. Okay? So bring it together and put it on top. Feels weird, right? Yeah. This is incorporated change, right? This is all about enforcing some change, and it feels weird, doesn't it? But we still have to do it, right? Sometimes it's like, because if you want to all of a sudden be creative, you're gonna all of a sudden start to do right over left. If you want to be intelligent, left over right, right? But right now it's uncomfortable. So this idea of uncomfortableness is a huge part of change, huge part of change. And well, unfortunately, being uncomfortable is just that trait that comes with it. Because anything that we want to do about change is something that we've never really done before, or we're trying to get back to our old self, and this current self is the one that we have to kind of readjust and re-manifest, and we'll manifest the new stuff, right? So what I want to do, this is going to be a little fun activity here. I want, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a pair, and with this pair, what we're going to do is, it's going to be called, what's the name called? Change Your Look. The game is called Change Your Look. So, what's going to happen, then I'll use you as an example. Come here, just stand up for me. So we'll have a partner, and what we're going to do is, I'm going to look at Nana very intensely for just observing any changes, just how she looks right now. And with anything that is just currently on her physical body, and I want to observe it as much as possible. And then after a minute or so, I'm going to turn around, and Nana is going to make 5 changes to her physical appearance. And I have to try to remember all of those. Okay?
I can't do that.
Why not?
How can I change what?
You have something this, you can turn your shirt around.
Get off your plans.
All I can do is take this one. I can't change anything here.
Can't change anything. You could
I mean, I can go to the bathroom.
You can roll your pants.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be super slight, you're just switching stuff around.
So this is very hard to take off in this whole thing.
I could do something
Yeah, but
like
I think
this.
it's easier for boys to change
Yeah.
the look than girls.
What should gonna?
Yeah, what am I gonna do?
Change these.
Maybe we can observe boys instead
Yeah, I
of
think
boys
we should
observing
do
girls.
boys.
Yeah, I
That's
think
your
that's
first
better. I
Hey.
think that's much better.
Oh yeah, you want to
Yeah.
do the girl.
Okay.
girls
Yeah, the
first.
girls
Yeah.
just look at the boys and then the boys do the thing.
Okay, I'm gonna
Oh, there's an even amount.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do it that way if you got. Oh, hello, Candace.
Weekends.
So we'll do it that way if you girls insist. I want ladies be comfortable and also cool. So someone just grab an opposite gender partner. If there isn't anyone, I'll.
Hi. Eyes on me now.
Okay.
Okay,
Garrett.
ready, set, go.
Yeah, find your partner. Hello.
Everyone.
Changes now.
Hello. Hello.
You're a gangbang, man. Coming to you,
I think you need to
Coming to
observe.
that.
You need to observe.
So we're just observing each other?
For like a minute.
Are we
Yeah. Just observe what they look like for like a minute,
Think
and
about what I
then
do.
change your appearance.
Okay, so I need to look at
I don't know
you.
what you mean by it.
How long?
Just a minute.
Yes, I have some.
I just need to think how do I do 5 changes.
I think we should stand up and do it.
It's easier to do it standing. Just look at what I'm wearing.
Okay, yeah, so.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be easier.
Yeah, I feel tough.
Okay, so now you're gonna change it.
Right.
Just tap me on the shoulder when you're done.
Okay.
Yeah. You
Are
ready?
you finished?
No, I do not.
Turn around.
And you are.
Nate is killing me.
That's all there is to me. What? Oh, thanks. You sure?
Okay. I did only 3, but go for it.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
Alright, sure.
Yeah.
Turn your shirt around.
That's the easy one.
Yes.
Yeah, because I need to change.
I think I'm ready.
Ready? Bracelet is on.
ready. I'm afraid to look back.
Did you take your button?
I switch the things in my pocket, so
You
you'll
switched
solo.
the things in your pocket.
From the right to the left. It's the closest you can get.
No problem, you didn't touch him.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
You feel uncomfortable. I always set this.
On that side, so it feels weird that it's all different.
Yeah, I'm
And especially your shirt now, how does that feel?
I can get used to it.
Another hand.
I'm not done yet. Hold on.
I didn't have 5 fingers. I mean, I could have done this one. So that's like 1, 2, 3.
One, two, remember something on your wrist?
Flip the other side.
Alright.
Right? But I changed the side.
You're straight. Oh, okay. Your shoe is already tucked in.
And another one?
And then I just flattened my hair.
Okay, now it's your turn. I don't want to do this.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
3 hours.
That's it?
Good job.
Two more. Something happened here? Yeah, I can see something in your pockets.
You changed it.
Right, I can see something. Yeah, so this is 2 things?
Yeah, that was
Ah.
on me physically, and now they're in my pocket.
Oh, so
Not
it was,
visible and large.
you didn't have any bracelets. But you had something on your head?
Yeah, I had been.
Right.
And, your institution, like in very, like,
This one's probably hard because
there,
it
like
gets like
many of
hidden.
them, they're all very.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was
How many did you
Much
change?
more visible.
I don't know.
You ready, Dasha?
Okay, let's go.
very creative.
Okay, we also want.
Your glasses.
You think so? Oh no, you guys are good.
Your earrings are gone.
Earrings
Kind
are
of like
gone.
split.
Your short, your trousers are backwards.
A little bit.
Your pants are backwards.
Like I did like this.
No, your strings were in front.
Oh, no, I didn't change. What else? The last one, I think.
So, yeah.
Oh, your hair was on this. It was like this.
Right, this is good. Good job. Thank you.
I wish you had a chance. You could even change the job.
I'm admiring your treble clef music notes on the board.
Ah, this is. Thank you. cool, huh?
Yeah. I haven't done yet.
You haven't, oh, you're still going.
It's getting changed.
So much stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna do it all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're
All
gonna watch.
together.
We're gonna watch George.
I cannot do it like that.
Still have my t-shirt backwards.
From our last game then.
Okay.
Sunglasses, hair change. Your watch is like the different arm and like backwards. Well, I haven't noticed the rings yet. Tattoos are still there. You guys
Are you sure?
Did you swap your bracelets?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is soon. Well, you're not holding your drink now.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That was awesome. So how does it feel being asked to change so many times? It's okay?
This was great.
Yeah?
I love it.
It was harder changes. If the changes were harder, it would be like a little bit more resistance. But I think these were like small, like change your earrings, your headband, like it's easier
Yeah.
than like really big changes.
So like what's a hard change then? I mean, you can give an example for your life maybe.
So like, like completely cutting out sugar. Like 100%. Like I like to have a little bit, but I want to do it completely. I think that's really hard.
Mm-hmm. No fruits?
Well, no, I eat fruits, but like
Healthy.
sugar, like real
Like
white
fried
bread.
chicken.
Yeah, refined sugar.
Cutting your long hair.
Long hair.
Because why would sugar be something really hard to change? Do you really like sugar and you're kind of used to sugar a lot?
I think it brings like comfort, like this level of like the sweetness just makes me feel like relaxed and like it brings me back to memories of childhood, like
Mhm.
ice cream or like cake or whatever. So yeah, I think there's just this comfort.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what about this little stuff as well? They're also super comfortable as well, but they're also okay. You're also okay with changing them. It's like you're used to the comfort of this. Oh, I haven't changed this back, but we're used to the kind of way we dress, right? It's comfortable for us, yet it's also very easy to do this type of change. And so, what would really define a hard change and an easy change? What do you think?
Habits. Maybe if you have some habits of doing every day, and now changing them requires more than a one-time thing. If you change like clothes.
The habit of
Yeah.
changing.
No, changing a habit.
Changing a habit.
I think something like on the inside, outside things are very easy to change, but the inner things are way more expensive. When it comes to like habits or traits or anything.
Mm-hmm. Right, because in this case with the sugar, the sugar intake, that is technically it's like something that's outside of me, but the craving for sugar is inside. Or the craving for success, or the craving for water, or the craving for any type of new change of trying to maybe avoid smoking, avoid drinking, avoid this and that.
Craving of water, you said?
Yeah, you know,
I think that would be quite difficult to not.
thirsty. Thirsty boy. Or just craving coffee, how about that?
Yeah, coffee's a good one.
Lots of people are craving coffee.
Coffee, I take it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel that there's a difference when it's like a substance situation. For example, sugar, coffee, like it creates some sort of addiction, and it's like, or also smoking. That when you're like wanting to change that, it's not only like the psychological part, but also like the physical part, the physical aspect of it. Like, for example, I quit smoking like a couple of months ago, and I don't know, when I was body needed something.
Like
It was like
withdrawals.
it was not only the psychological aspect or like wanting to smoke, but also like my body was like needing something.
Mhm.
Did you replace it with
No,
something
I
else?
was quitting like
You're just
cold
completely
turkey.
cold turkey.
That's
Yeah,
really
The easiest way is to obviously replace a habit with another habit. That's like one of the best ways to change. But I mean, there's also still resistance towards any kind of change. Why do you think there's, so like, what are some things that actually make people resistant to change? Is it the fact that we are internally sabotaging ourselves? Because this is like the point that I learned in Vipassana is because of attachment. This is the whole reason why it's very, very difficult and why there's so much resistance to change is because there's attachment to a certain lifestyle, a certain version, a certain current self that we're right now being. In a sense, if we were to go much deeper into this, it has to do with the I, the me, the mine, this ego that we have. We all have, I have. Each one of us are super attached through my computer, my water bottle, my speaker. And if something were to change about maybe the speaker were to die, all of a sudden my attachment to it is like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I have to kind of deal without this or deal with this. If maybe my computer were to not have Wi-Fi, whatever it is, all of a sudden it's all becoming attachment through craving and aversion. And the way that we are craving things is all because of something that you like. Anything that you technically like at any point in your life, all of a sudden will become a sensation on your body, and this sensation will then create a feeling through the form of craving. Same thing with dislike. If you dislike something, it's going to create this similar sensation, but it's the opposite of a craving, and this will turn into a feeling of, I want to avoid this as much as possible. So, when it comes down to this, when we are in the process of change, right, what makes it actually difficult to maintain that change? Because you have that first initial thought of like, okay, like I want to do something different. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to start quitting coffee, or I'm going to stop drinking, start smoking. What makes it hard to actually just maintain not smoking? It's because,
Discipline.
what is that?
Discipline.
Right? Sure. But also the point of like his internal body, right? When it's having withdrawals. Because what happens is our brain and body are used to these types of chemicals that certain activities that we produce. The chemicals that you're getting from smoking could be dopamine, could be adrenaline, could be cortisol, all these different kind of chemicals in them, and they will actually be, they're gone now, and so it's trying to find where it is, the last little bits of it, and when it doesn't have that, all of a sudden it goes into overreaction mode. So, can you explain maybe a little bit about in your life, what is the difficult part about maintaining it? Do you notice this type of, like the chemicals not being there? What is it that, can you explain to us a little bit of the awareness that you've had?
It's still like difficult every day. Like I notice very often like that I'm craving for smoking, especially if I'm seeing people smoking. I feel like triggered already, like wanting to be smoking. It's also the aspect of I don't know, like I remember that I was smoking in university, and I was doing it because when I was like having like free time, and I was smoking because then I wasn't wasting my time. I was doing something. Like the fact of doing like being smoking, it was like an activity that I was doing, so I didn't feel like I was wasting my time of just instead of just chilling, then smoking, just being like doing something. Yeah, in a way. So yeah, sometimes when I'm chilling now, I feel like okay, I gotta do something, and that something usually would have been like smoking. I that I started rambling a little bit. What was the question?
What makes it hard to maintain this change? Because the way that within the maintenance of trying to change and that discipline, there's a little process that happens within our bodies with those chemicals, right? So have you been aware of those chemicals? Like, I'm trying to ask you, are you aware of the chemicals and why is it difficult to maintain this change?
I think that by this point, the chemicals are not like the chemical aspect. It's not that present anymore. I think that I did like 7 months ago or something. So it's pretty much gone. But it's more like the psychological aspect of being smoking. Yeah. When I'm stressed or when something's happening in my life, my usual response would be like, okay, I will smoke now. Now it's like, okay, you need to deal with it without smoking.
You just say that you need to deal with it. This is a lot of willpower that it takes then. So essentially, having this change takes a lot of willpower. It takes the discipline, right, to just do something that you don't want to do, to reinforce a new version of yourself. And you have an ideal version of yourself? Someone who is traveling the world fire dancing?
Yeah.
Probably, right? So what kind of version of yourself is necessary for that?
Healthy.
Healthy? Right.
First of all, strong and healthy.
Strong and healthy. And would you say that you
In the mind.
Stable, right? Balanced. A few things, yeah. What would you say that you are now? At what level out of 10?
Well, I also quit smoking. So.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm listening to him talking like 7 months, and now you have cravings. Did you have cravings before?
Yeah, like it's like every day I'm craving for it, and it's like
Oh, really?
every day, like.
Maybe I just didn't want it enough because I really don't have any cravings.
Like
I
I was definitely
And
addicted to
when I see
smoking,
someone
like-
smoking, it smells bad. And
No,
I'm
when
like,
I'm
why are you
seeing-
doing that to yourself? I'm not wanna give me one.
That's when I'm seeing someone
Even when I'm
smoking, it's like,
drinking,
ay ay ay.
I'm so sorry for you. I think you will, yeah.
Yeah. No, but also it's like something similar. Well, like I was connecting to what you were saying, because it's like I was talking to someone who also like quit smoking, and she was telling me how like she was working on like rewiring like her brain and thinking like, not thinking of like I quit smoking, like, but thinking of herself like I'm not a smoker. Like every time that she was thinking of smoking, she was thinking like, okay, I don't smoke. Like I quit, but I don't do that. And somehow it was helping her. I tried to adopt that thinking, and it was like helping a little bit, but also like I don't know.
But there's still cravings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's because there's some sort of attachment to the feeling of being, with the smoke that it gives you, the smoking that it gives you. So are you guys familiar with the habit loop?
Okay, then I did have it.
I'll explain to you the habit loop for a little moment here. This is a really, really amazing thing. So there's a cue, there's a routine, and then there's the reward. Okay, so it goes like this. Okay? So, Carol, what are some cues, or you can also, we're just gonna be on this topic of smoking for this, because it's actually a very profound one. So, what are some cues? Okay, so cues are could be
triggers.
Huh?
Triggers.
Yes, could be a time of day, could be a place, it could be like a feeling of bored, things like this, different variables, right? What are those cues?
Drinking beer.
So is it being drunk?
No, just like cigarette goes good with beer and coffee.
I see.
Well, like,
Is that also being social?
Yeah.
yeah, and don't know what to do with my hands.
After food.
Security blanket, yeah. It's a security blanket. Can be a security blanket.
Right. Right. We're I want
So
to.
working on the confidence, ways to change,
I see.
not drinking and being
So-
comfortable in the situations where you're not drinking.
So just to it's like social acceptance in a way.
Yeah.
Right. So there's social then.
Stress.
Stress. Yeah.
Boredom.
Boredom. Yeah.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Release.
I was also.
Is there an element to like superstition, as in like I've achieved certain things in my life while smoking, therefore I need to keep that up?
Totally.
Kind of like, you know, telling yourself like if I smoke, then I can achieve it.
There's some people who smoke all their life and they're successful, right? And they have these traits of being of certain like they have money, they have these other things, but when you look at it, it's what they care about really. And they could attribute that they can use this stress relief to all of a sudden have a smoke break
Yeah.
and just go off and do this thing.
Like a reward.
Yeah.
So because I do this, I've done so much that I can have a cigarette.
Right. It's sometimes it's used as a reward, but it's also about the priority that happens. Someone like this also is not going to have very good health though, and that means that they don't really care about their health. Maybe they do, but at
You know what? I
not to
smoke
the extent.
vape, and it's really difficult to stop smoking vape. Like this thing right here is
Yeah.
next level because it tastes nice and it doesn't stink.
I tried it, my
Yeah.
lung hurts, so I'm happy
It's
for
so
that.
bad. My lungs hurt, I still smoke.
Yeah. I was the person that had two. I would give one to others, and then I would use one for myself.
What a nice guy.
Such a sociable thing,
Yes,
right? I
yes.
let other people do the thing
Yes,
with me that I'm
yes.
so addicted to. But
So everybody asks for it all the time, and you're like, oh, can I have some?
yeah, and I'd be like, Sam, can I get yours? Yours is so good.
Oh, always. Yeah, I should get a second one.
Yeah, exactly.
I should start vaping.
You just gave me a new idea.
There you go. All right. Well, that's not.
Okay, no, that's bad change, man.
But the idea of this, I mean, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. The idea of the cue, right? We understand this. It's that all of a sudden it could be the time of day. It could also, like for me, when I was smoking weed, it was as soon as I woke up, it would be like the thing that I would want to just jump at right away, get in my bong and just. So right away, because that was the best thing for me. It was the most comfortable, just easiest thing. It was the cue, right? And then the routine. So the cue is the thing that's like, okay, the time, the boredom, the social thing, it's that feeling, that sensation that shows up on the body, and all of a sudden, it's a sensation that you feel. That then creates the routine. There's some dopamine spike that goes on right between here, and then the routine is the actual process, right? It's the actual taking a hit of the smoke, taking a drink. This is the whole process. But then what happens is after this happens, then there is a reward. So, Nana, Carol, for those who smoke, what are like the rewards, the feelings, the good feelings that you get from smoking?
You can feel nice in your chest.
A break.
Nice
You
and
get a
chest.
break.
I do like the taste.
He wants to smoke.
He's looking at his lips.
I think this is a good topic.
That's what that's gonna
A lot of time people at work, they get a break because they smoke, but people who don't smoke, they don't get a break.
that's true.
Like
Yeah,
also smoking is super
hospitality.
social. Like,
Oh, yeah?
like
So what's the feeling of acceptance then?
yeah,
Of like,
like hanging with people or acceptance, I guess. Yeah.
right? Is that which
Especially
is,
while partying, for example, like it's very easy to start like hanging with people who are smoking. Like,
right? All of a sudden it's super. It's like
yeah,
an immediate.
You can.
Icebreaker.
You're part of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So-
get the down low.
It's,
Yeah, in high
it's
school,
more
like
connection.
all cool kids go out to smoke. So.
Wait, what?
Oh my god.
I
Is
thought it
it
was
also
cool.
some?
That was
Go back to school.
Is it also like some kind of relief because
Yeah.
as the guy
Yeah.
said, stress
Yep.
goes
Yes.
up and then
Yeah.
smoking.
Really.
Like,
Like, you're stressed, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
If someone tells me to stop vaping, I like get so stressed that I vape more.
Yeah.
Vape to his face.
So people like you said,
Fear.
the stress
Fear
that
of
you
stopping.
get from this. What is the because so
Yes,
the
that's
cue
the
that you
cue.
all of a sudden feel? It's like the stress that comes from smoking. You get relief from that, right? And all of a sudden the stress is
Short-term.
right, short-term relief. Yeah, exactly right. So this is the idea.
oh, maybe also like the image of you, maybe like not exactly smoking but doing something.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be smoking, but the yeah, sure, the image, yeah.
Like I'm not cool, I'm not like drinking or not so like oh my god. All the cool
Mhm.
people are such.
It has to do with a little bit with the connection as well. So this is the routine, right? But the actual way to break the habit, unfortunately, we can never actually break the habit. There's a smoker right there, perfect. So what we have to do though, Carol, don't. What we have to do, because our brains are already wired, they're already wired with this routine, they're already wired with this chemistry. We cannot all of a sudden just snap it in half and just say goodbye to this. What we have to do is reinforce a new routine. But the routine actually will be the same cues and the rewards. All you do is just change the routine. So for smoking, there could be something all of a sudden, like these will always be there, right? The beer, the food, the social stuff, the stress, the boredom, they'll always be there. There's cues that happen that go on in our body that are sensations all of a sudden that just pop up, and then there's a routine that happens. And then the change to actually do the routine comes from knowing what type of different routine can give you the same reward, right? So that is why most people, they decide to start exercising, and they get that same relief, they get that same nice feeling in their chest, they get to also connect with people, they have a good image, right? So the feelings that you get are the same, but the routine is different. So I mean, you might go to the gym a lot then, when you have to, all of a sudden there's super, like many different cues that are going on, but that's why it's also really helpful to do smaller things that are much easier. Like you can just do a breathing session if you really needed to. Things like,
Eat.
yeah, some people eat as well. Yeah, easily. Very, very true. So this is the habit routine. This is the habit loop. I just wanted to touch on that really quick because this is a huge part of how we change. But what I wanted to talk about is understanding where does change even come from? How bad? Okay. Well, first of all, do you believe that someone only changes if there is enough pain? Yes.
Yeah, a lot of times it's not in an ultimatum, but it's connected to that. A lot of times you gotta go down in order to go up and make a change.
I think
Well, it
also
sounds-
Like cancer.
something happens in your brain. You have the synapses building. For example, when people are depressed, the synapses keeps building, and the happiness breaks apart, and that's why there's such a deep feeling. That's a physiological thing happening. And that's why it affects you like that. So if you have trauma, it levels it out on a physiological level. Yeah. So that's why it's much easier to make changes.
When you're
When you're
Down.
depressed, when you're in a trauma state,
Yeah.
when there's pain,
yeah.
it levels out the synapses in the brain.
But there's still some people that are going through a lot of trauma and pain, yet they still don't change.
This guy.
Right? I mean, sometimes it's just the fact that there's just not enough pain. That might just be the case.
Addicted to pain. People are addicted to pain. Suffering.
Well,
Also,
So easy, so
sometimes
sweet and nice.
you don't know what to do.
Yeah, like getting back to like smoking, for me it was easier to change when I have like a positive reason versus when I have like a, I don't know, like I never really like how I feel when I'm smoking, like you know, your lungs are hurting, like when you try to run, like you cannot, like it's really like you can feel the effects of being smoking. But when I quit smoking, it's like, I don't know, pretty much because of my ex, and like, I don't know, it was like a positive reason why to, like, motivation.
Yeah.
So for me, it was much easier when I stopped smoking like that versus when I was feeling like in pain, or I don't want to be doing it, or
This is
like,
bad.
you know.
Because there was enough pain there, right? And that usually typically happens with some people, but also there also is the other wild freaks out there that are amazing, gifted people that they don't necessarily go through any pain, yet they still have this motivation and this positive feelings to still want to change. This is probably through some external ways of, I guess you could say, models, you know, people that they look up to, and so.
Can I think like it doesn't sit right with me when you said like the cue will always be there. We should change the routine and get the same rewards. So by
Yes.
changing this, and I agree. But I think like the real like change where people don't struggle but they like embrace their new routines is when we deal with the cues, and I think that's what you are leading towards.
No. I love this input here, but the only thing that I want to say about that is that, I mean, life is suffering. We come into this world crying as a helpless baby, and we leave this world dying, hurting, and it's all suffering, right? All of this, if you look at it, I mean, food is not necessarily suffering because it's just so delicious, and maybe beer is, but all this stuff. Maybe not social cues, I mean, because we're dependent beings, but stress, boredom, those types of things.
We
Depression,
invented them.
anxiety, huh?
We invented them.
Yeah, we did invent them, but it's still, it's suffering, it's misery, right? So we can't ever remove it. It's always gonna be there. There's the people that, like, the Buddha, who's super enlightened, or who was super enlightened, and all of a sudden they can just remove themselves from the misery because they have removed all attachment. They have no ego, right? But for kind of like a typical person, it's very, very difficult to get to this state. And so we have to be able to deal with the misery. We have to manage the misery. We have to be able to balance it in a way that gives us something different through a routine, through a habit. All of a sudden, like, you're feeling like crap, you can just do an easy breathing session, and all of a sudden your entire physiological state will change, and then boom, you're just like a brand new person.
But you know how hard it is that.
Yeah, of course.
You know how hard it is that.
Yeah.
Especially when you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like I know Reiki is gonna help me and I can do it to myself whenever, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do it later. Or
Right.
whatever, and then I just stay miserable.
Right.
Why is it so hard to do things that are gonna help us?
Because that's the path of least resistance. And the thing is with that, within that path, it's easier to do the thing that just takes no effort. But
Just take some sweets.
Yeah.
Watch a TV show.
yeah, exactly. Because this takes effort. To be enlightened takes effort. To get out of your misery takes effort. But to change, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of work. So much work that it's almost like there's more suffering in the change than there actually is just with the original suffering, right? It is. But what's more with it? More high feelings or more low feelings?
The change.
Yeah.
Probably
If that's the point, is with change or not changing.
the journey probably had more low feelings, but like maybe there were also more highs as well. But after you make the change, you feel
Yeah, the outcome is good.
that's the reward that you get from it. Like, so, oh fine, I did it. Like, it feels great, and I'm proud of
But
myself.
it also depends on your goal. For example, if you need to establish a new routine, for what you're doing, your purpose, and your goal oriented, so probably it's not gonna take you that much persistence, right? Correct word. So if you have a goal and you really follow it, so it inspires you to do the same again and again.
And you get those amazing feelings from the goal. I mean, if you wanted to look at it like on a graph viewpoint, with someone who changes and their highs and lows, and versus someone who doesn't change and their highs and lows, I mean, it'd probably look like something like this if we were to have time on here, and then the highs, and then the lows, right? And this is with change. This is no change. You'll see. You'll see that someone who changes, even though there will be lows, the highs will be higher, they'll last for longer, the lows will be shorter, there'll be also midpoints, but the highs will be higher and they'll last longer. For someone who doesn't change, the lows are longer, the highs are short, the lows are longer, the highs are short, right? This is how it probably looks for someone who doesn't change versus someone who does change. Because either way there's going to be suffering, either way there's going to be still difficulties, there's still going to be miseries that go on, because we're not enlightened people, at least not yet, but we are all working on it, as we are all in a class like this, in a workshop like this, and just the day-to-day, we're always like, I have no reason to doubt that every single one of you are always continuously trying to improve your mindset, improve your rewiring your brain, stuff like this, right? Which is a beautiful thing. It's the path towards liberation, the path towards enlightenment. But changing is one of the most difficult things in the world. And I mean, we're technically...
We're making it that difficult. It's not
Yes.
that difficult. It's
Right.
more about like, you want it or not. And then like, if you want it, you stop smoking.
Exactly.
If you want it, you don't drink. If you actually want that, you do it. And like, we find all these things externally to make us not do that, and we blame other things to not do what we actually want to do. And
Yes.
we're finding it hard, but like, if you remove all the what's the word? No,
The external world,
external world.
the external like excuses and stuff, like the other
Yeah.
people, the
But it's your internal world that
Yeah.
wants you to do the bad habit again.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
If you
right.
put yourself in the right environment, then you'll blossom.
Yeah, you'll flourish.
Yeah, you told me like you don't want to drink beer, and then someone will be like, "Oh, you don't want to drink beer with me."
Just go away.
Yeah.
Come on, you know.
Yeah.
Or like, what's wrong? Or like when I quit smoking weed, it was a long time ago, but still, all my friends were like giving me an like, no, I just quit. Oh,
It's good, it's a new one. Like the
whatever.
other
I want
reasons,
to
yeah.
see what I'm doing here, like.
Right, but to Net's point, that's also has to do with the environment, right? The environment that you
Yeah,
surround
that's what I'm
yourself
saying,
with. Yeah, exactly, right?
Environment is very.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic.
But I mean, it's not just always the environment. It's a lot of the times we like to blame the environment, even if it's a great environment. It's very easy to put blame and responsibility onto other people, onto other things, onto certain scenarios that we would like to say that is out of our control, because it's easier to do that, and it's easier to put blame on something else than just to take responsibility for ourselves and just to be responsible for the way that we're feeling. And unfortunately, all the misery that ever happens isn't the fact that it's something that's going on in the world. Yes, there's war going on. Yes,
Distractions.
there's distractions, yeah. And there's people out there that are just very rude and disruptive. But the only real disruption is our internal world. We're having attachment to a certain way that we see the world, our paradigm, our view, with our lens that we're looking at the world in. We expect it. We're attached to the way that it looks like, right? And so this view has to stay it's an original shape. And if it shakes, if it loses a branch, if it loses a leaf, then it's like, oh, why did you do that? But in reality, what is this? What is the characteristic about this world? It's impermanent. It's bound to change. Anicca, exactly, in the Pali language. And this idea of impermanence is actually very, very difficult to intellectually, it's easy to intellectually accept, but to experience it, that's the challenge. To actually experience the fact that, yes, like on the way here, I was driving, and I was like, wow, it's so hot. I really just want to cool down. And just like the heat waves all of a sudden just like hit you. And just like, oh my gosh. In my mind, I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm having to remind myself continuously, this is gonna pass, it's only temporary, it's impermanent, all these sorts of things. It's very difficult to be able to experience that, because once you
In the moment, tell you this.
right.
Can I share about this?
Yes,
I also
yeah.
had this experience like after Vipassana, and I feel your since like your state right now. After Vipassana, I had this like I think I am like emotionally how to say addicted to something. So like as Candice said, like suffering or like disillusions or something about love and all. And when I went out of Vipassana and I was in Saigon where me and my boyfriend lived before, and we were in that like neighborhood where everything started, and we like spent lots of time there, and I was walking through that, and I can feel that I can go in that state of like suffering right now, thinking about all the like past and how everything changed right now, and like be addicted to that and like deplete my energy by these thoughts. But with this thought of change and having the physical, like being aware of the physical body, physical sensations, it gives the choice. I want to spend time and suffer in the past and in there, or I want to relive this present moment and like be in this, get a new experience, being in the same neighborhood and having a new like, I don't know if it makes sense, just want to share.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. It's always, I mean, especially with someone who's also, who else has done Vipassana here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm just about to ask you, how do you know about Pali and lung language?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So did you learn that at the Vipassana?
Yes. Just a brief, little terminology. But would you like to share anything about this in your life of experiencing, understanding, and experiencing that the wisdom of impermanence?
Yes. To pinpoint one is
Oh yeah.
I guess we think we're gonna live forever as well, So when people around us or someone dies and you just don't know what to do with yourself after that. And it's pretty amazing that sometimes you get into such a dark space that you push yourself into looking for all these healing modalities around you to get out of that space, right? And years and years and years later, you learn about this biological thing that actually happens in your body, which I was referring to earlier about your brain, and peptides, neurons, how it creates emotion, how it divides into two cells, and your body physically has the memory of that trauma. That's why it's so difficult to get out of that space. So again, it takes a traumatic or very severe change to get out of that space and not being addicted to the pain. Because if you don't let go of it, you're addicted to it.
The way to let go is to accept that it's
Accept it, change it, or leave it.
right. Right. And then there's ways that we can understand the body at a physiological level. It's the feeling of the thought that we first created, and that feeling will create a sensation or some tingling, any sort of thing that could not necessarily be. When you hear sensation, you could possibly think, oh, it's going to be like this amazing vibrational feeling of holiness or whatever. But in reality, it's any sort of thing. It could be heat, it could be cold, or just pain. All this has to do with understanding that whenever you think something, this all of a sudden you'll experience this sort of feeling, and this feeling will then create in your mind. You'll then think, okay, I like this or I don't like this, and through that, it then all of a sudden creates this aversion or craving, and this is in a sense of how we actually are starting to get attached to certain lifestyles and certain things about ourselves and the world and the way we see it. So, yeah. So, let's see here. What do we want to talk about next?
So in saying that with the healing modalities, you know, it's a practice. And just one day everything falls into place. And your body's memorized all the new ways that you've been learning. And then it changes also automatically. Cool.
Let's
Yeah, it's
actually.
just one day you wake up and it's like not a problem anymore. Not trying too hard. Not trying too hard.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a level of like not caring at all and like letting it prolong to just.
And also we forget to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Be that childlike inner child, sort of go on a slide, jump on a jumping castle, go on a swing, go play in the water park. I don't know, color with big wax crayons.
Did anyone want to take a
Whatever.
picture of that? So, what we're gonna do though is we're gonna come up with some strategies and some tools to then start to work towards maintaining change, because we understand why change happens. We understand a little bit more of how to change, and now to actually maintain the change with some tools and strategies is what we're gonna talk about. So,
Yeah, I think that's important, is the maintenance.
exactly. Because a lot of the times, like even with what Carol's talking about, you know, there's the feelings of smoking still there. But to have strategies to remove them is how we have to go about it. And tools and modalities and ideals that help us. So we can say, well actually, I think we should split this into maybe like 3 sections. We'll have the modalities here. And then, ideals. And just said something like that. I forgot this one, or I just forgot it. I had it in my head. But anyways, so we'll just stay with these two for now then. Ideals could be like values, beliefs, and such as well. But modalities. So ideas to keep change and maintain change. So what we can do is I'm thinking of the habit loop, and I'm thinking that the habit loop will be it's not necessarily a modality, but it's an ideal. The habit loop. So how can someone start to, I'm just gonna let you guys answer this. How will you start to remember the habit loop? How would you like to? How would you start to remind
Habit
yourself?
loop.
Yeah, the loop that I just explained about earlier. That's a way to recognize that, okay, I'm feeling a certain thing and this is the habit that I'm consistently doing, right? Huh?
I think you should just focus on the cues. Like, you know what the cues that triggering the bad behavior, and then try to replace them with something. When I used to smoke, and when I quit smoking, whenever like I just smell somebody smoking around me, I had to walk away.
Yeah.
Like I knew I couldn't take it. Okay, like now I do it for many years, but at the beginning I just sit somewhere else. Like that was the cue for me. But like do something about whatever triggers you.
Yeah. The cue is actually the exact way to change it. It's the exact way to keep in mind, because when we're aware of the cues, we can start to reframe it in our minds of starting to accept, like, okay, when I stopped smoking, I started to look at the cue of whenever I smelled weed. I'm talking about smoking weed, right? And the way that I was smoking was I would smell it and all of a sudden be super attached to this. Over time, I've now changed the thought pattern. I've changed the way that I recognize it in my brain to now say, this is a horrible smell. And so the cue that I had is now changed as well, because I don't look at it as something that is even appealing anymore. The only reason that I would ever smoke is because of the reward that I would get, not because of the cue, right? Maybe because of social thing as well, but this is the understanding of the habit loop, to recognize the cue and the reward.
But how are you changing that? Like, cause
How to
I was-
change the
I was
cue,
trying
or which
something-
one?
Like in your example, like I was trying something similar. Like
yeah.
every time that I was smelling like someone smoking, like I was trying to think like, yeah, that's disgusting. Even though like my body was telling me it smells great, I was
Yeah.
trying to fool myself
You
by
have to.
thinking like it's disgusting, but I never really like managed to make like.
No, but you cannot lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You need to actually find the reason.
Yeah.
Like you need to remind yourself, like that smell gonna bring me to bad places because whatever.
Okay.
Like,
It's gonna
So
stay
make
my
that a different
clothes and my
connection.
fingers.
What?
Why did you
Like
stop
making a
smoking
different
as
connection,
well?
let's say.
yeah, like your connection when you talk, like you said, I love it. I want to do it. And it seems like you didn't realize the idea that it's actually good to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like maybe think why you want to quit. Like every time I smoke, I
That's
smell
what it's
bad
like,
or
yeah.
whatever. I don't know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad probably. You know.
What kind
And
of, why did you stop smoking?
Because I wanted to be healthier.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you know it's bad for you.
Yeah.
And also your girlfriend was like putting pressure on her.
No, not really. She was pretty chill about it. It was more like,
You said that was from because of your girlfriend.
yeah,
right?
yeah. It was more like, you know, thinking of when you smoke for a long time and as you're aging, like the consequences of smoking, you're having it for sure, but also like everyone around you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So thinking like, okay, someone else is gonna be like paying for my action.
Affected by from
Yeah,
her.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like getting one that I don't think that it's nice to be having someone around you who's paying for what you're doing.
So you don't do that because you don't want to hurt anyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Here's something you can tell yourself when you think about smoking.
It's the way that to do it is to the sensations on your body, to experience the sensations in a different way. This is also through visualizing. So when you all of a sudden you say that you smell the smoke and it's like there's still a pleasant sensation on your body, but what you can do is you can visualize to someone that is coughing a bunch, like wheezing type of coughing, or all of a sudden maybe someone that smells also really bad. You can just try to reinforce those sensations in your consciousness, because your brain doesn't know the difference between an actual thought and a fake thought that is just in your head. So you can come up with something in your head to visualize, and then this will, if you can really like concentrate on it, you can actually create a certain smell as well, and just kind of distinctly think about that smell. So the way that you can reframe it is actually very possible, but it's through visualizing and having those sensations be different on your body.
Also, what I've been told, I'm sorry, like you can tell yourself, I'm not gonna smoke for the next 3 months, and then I will see if I want to smoke or no. So you're giving your brain some period
False
of
promise.
time.
Trixie.
Yeah. So then when the 3 months come, you're like,
Or
just,
just
oh, I'm
like,
not gonna
oh,
smoke.
no, it doesn't seem so.
Yeah. Yeah, we will. Yeah, quit that for years. Like that, just thinking like 3 more months, 6 more months, whatever. Just give yourself time because when the brain is.
Or like 3 days.
My babies are.
But I think if he's not smoking for 7 months already,
Yeah.
you can go for a month.
Yeah, it's
At
been
least a
7
month.
months.
Yeah.
That's
Just
just
tell yourself, alright, I'm not gonna smoke.
Yeah, like setting a deadline.
How about also like having this new and having this unpleasant sensation in the body, but instead of being afraid of it, be like, that's cool. We already know
Yeah.
about it. We are aware oh, I'm triggered by that. But not like running away from the trigger, but just like, oh, trigger is here, like, cool. Nice
It'll
to
go
see you.
away.
Yeah.
That trigger, it will go away as well. That exact cue, I love that you brought that up, Tasha, because the feeling that cue will, that when it shows up, that exact cue will also pass away. The feeling of wanting to smoke, it will pass away as long as you are conscious. You cannot let the impulse take you over and all of a sudden just want to jump into it. I'm getting another call. So being more conscious of when a feeling comes up, to understand that that feeling is also impermanent, right? So,
And maybe even like welcoming, like, hey, let's see, like, sit down here, let's chat.
yes.
The desire to wanna smoke, what do you wanna talk?
Like being inquisitive towards that feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Curious about it.
I'm curious. I feel this. I wonder. Like start to like think about it rather than to react to it. You're just like okay.
But
feel
the
this.
idea is not to think about it as overthinking into it, because then what happens is, what in the case
Like analyzing it.
but you're almost going to be like regurgitating the thoughts over and over and over again, where it's overthinking, where the thoughts will continuously show up, but it's the idea about letting it be there and only observing it, observing how the sensation shows up, being curious about the way that it shows up in the way that it feels on you, but not necessarily thinking into it
Yeah.
about why it's feeling this way,
Sure.
right? Just of noticing that it's there.
But you also can replace that the routine of that habit. But if you
Yes.
you can replace it by something. I remember when I quit smoking, I used my lipstick every time when I wanted to smoke. I said, okay, I'm gonna use my lipstick and do something with my lips.
Yes.
I
That's
drink
amazing.
water or something.
Your ideals for awareness of sensations can also be modality and awareness of senses. Exercise. No, I mean for her. You can do that.
From her?
No. The awareness of sensations is fine in the ideals, but I'm saying as a modality can also be awareness exercises.
Like meditation, yeah.
Awareness of the senses.
I'm gonna rewrite it.
And neuro-linguistic programming is also good. Awareness exercise. Or meditation.
And then I liked what Mitch said. Because that actually is a very, very helpful one as well. Swapping out the way that you are. If we're talking about habits, right? But if you want to if you're talking about different kinds of change, where it's like more deep than just like a simple habit. But habits also do play into effect, and they have a huge role in the way that you change. Because the better the habits, the better the change, the easier the change is. So that's why we are talking about habits as well. So, but this, what you said here, it's like the replacement of use.
Of routine,
Well, it's like the way that you use it, right?
the small thing which you just replace.
Yeah. Right. Because then you have. So I think someone said something earlier that I forgot to write down. But these are all very, very good ones as well. I mean, the thing about it is, when it comes down to it, these are very helpful for when we're trying to understand. Oh, I didn't explain this one. The I am. This is what Carol said earlier. He said, you said basically like your friend is trying to reframe her mind, reframe her the way that she's thinking of identifying herself as I am not a smoker, right? By doing this, all of a sudden you can start to create a different alter ego that will be one that you can just tap into automatically, that you can just like already know the feeling and sensation to move in towards.
fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah. Fake it's within your body till you make it, yeah. But then all of a sudden it will be the real thing because you have continuously giving yourself those chemicals and your body is enjoying the chemicals through the habits that you're also doing. The body just loves chemicals either way, and the more you give the chemicals to them, the good ones that feel good, the better it's going to essentially feel. But whenever we don't have them, that's when it starts to like feel like misery and suffering. Is because there's certain feelings and sensations that we don't enjoy. And that's essentially why like those get to such an extreme level that people want to change because they're at such a low point and such a like they have so much power over them that they want the complete opposite. And if someone really is in that at such a deep level, then they will change and they will search for those good feelings. And as soon as they get a taste of it, that's where a new habit pattern starts. Right? So if you're all of a sudden like you're in a really hard place, you're like, I really want to change. Give yourself 1 week, give yourself 3 days. This is like part of the challenges. Give yourself at least just a 1 week challenge, a 3 week challenge, a month challenge, just to be that version of yourself. Because if you were to look at it, technically, some people say it takes 21 days for a habit to just get installed, for the wire to actually all of a sudden connect. But for that habit to get thicker than the other wires, I believe it was 66 days. If you were to really want to reinforce new habits, 66 days is the challenge that you would need to do to all of a sudden completely change your life. With maybe one habit, I wouldn't all of a sudden reinforce many habits because that's going to be very overwhelming. And it's going to be actually easier to, as Nana was talking about earlier, she was talking about the path of least resistance. So you'll go towards that much quicker and much easier with more habits that you're trying to reinforce. So try 21 days, try 10 days. That is the
challenge. Sorry, too quick. Challenge could be also just the one thing. The
Yeah.
one day, like every change starts from the first step, right?
the one decision.
So like, for example, I didn't go to the gym for years, or I never went to the gym. I just need to go one day in order to start the change.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you just gotta do it one time, see how you feel after that,
Mhm.
and then you can decide if you wanna do it again.
Yeah, but you also at the same time you may decide that it's like I like that, but at the same
You
time
may decide you don't like that.
yeah.
You know, so you may decide, oh, that was shit, that gym, I feel terrible after this, but like,
It was
actually it's really good for you.
yeah, but it's
So
so
like,
good.
if you do it for 21 days, maybe you'll start liking it.
Right, that's why one day is just not enough.
Right, but it's enough to start.
Yes, I mean it's always this first day.
Right.
It's always this
You're not making the neurological connection still yet from doing it one day. You have to do it more than once.
one quote that I love is it's either one day or day one.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So always reminding yourself
You look
it's
so proud. I invented it.
no, I didn't. But I love that one because it's very, very helpful to remember. It just really brings you back to like, oh my gosh, it just completely deflates your ego. It seriously does. Huh?
What deflates you?
This quote. It's one day or day one. One day I will, or it's day one. Even if it's day 70, however old you are, right? It's still day one of this change. It's still day one. I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not going back to that old version of myself who was, addicted to this, addicted to that, giving into these values, these beliefs, and these people, right? That once reinforced a change.
Just keep trying.
Right.
Can I add a weird one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course.
Okay, never mind.
Yes.
I like,
Getting them
So
done.
some of the habits, the bad habits that I have, they start because boredom or stress. You're trying to avoid pain, therefore you go into the bad habits. One thing that helps me avoid those bad habits is more pain.
More bad habits.
Basically, like avoiding, the idea that if I will go into that bad habit, I will have self-hatred because of it. Then I want to avoid the self-hatred, therefore I don't do the bad habit.
Uh-huh. Double hate.
It's a double whammy of positive reinforcement.
This is the double opposite of being addicted to pain.
I'm trying to avoid it so much that I do the right thing.
Yeah.
I like it. We'll put it over here.
You feel good after?
Yeah, because I'm trying not to feel bad.
You try not to feel bad.
Can you explain?
It's basically
Huh?
Can you explain?
basically like you're trying to you're feeling stressed, therefore you're going into a negative habit, whatever it is, like smoking. But instead of going into smoking, you realize that you will hate yourself far more because you
You,
smoke.
you already
Therefore you
feel
don't
bad
smoke.
before you do the thing. So
Exactly.
therefore you don't do it because like, oh my god, this is gonna be even worse.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I get it.
It's like if you know you're gonna have a bad trip doing drugs.
Yeah, you're like, it could escalate so much worse. You're like, nah.
Yeah, you might not come back this time.
Yeah. So no.
You wanted me to explain one day or day one?
You can explain that for.
So basically, like this is just talking about you either are going to achieve this, you're going to either change one day, or you're going to change today.
Okay.
Like this is the first day of change.
Mm.
And so even if you have not been smoking for 7 months, this is still the first day of not change, of not smoking. It completely deflates your
Have
ego.
that humble.
It's the first day of the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right.
understand. Yeah, like the one day it's like thinking like, one day I will do this and that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And that one is a good one, George. The double pain, being motivated by not the first pain, but the self-sabotage version of pain that will come.
It works.
It does. It really does. Actually, I've done it before as well.
And that's the thing, like you said, like your brain cannot identify between what's real and what's like a thought. So like you're thinking about this is gonna be shit. Oh my god, and then you already don't do it because you already feel what it will feel like to do it.
Yeah, you're like the little relief I get for this moment is not worth like a week of self-hatred or
Like I've
whatever.
been there, I don't wanna go back.
Yeah.
It's a song.
I came up with a quote.
Wow, that's not what I'm looking for.
Let me see.
I don't know what you guys think about this, but this is
Some
like
2024.
a year ago when I came up with this. It's not as bad as it seems. It's always as bad as it is.
I don't get it.
You don't get it? The way that I explain it was, whatever the pain is that you're experiencing in this moment, it's not as bad as it seems. It's just as bad as it is. It's just what it is. It's not actually as bad as it seems because what we do is we over amplify it.
Like our perception of it
Yes.
is worse than actually it is.
Because of the attachment. Again, the avoiding. I don't want anything to do with this pain.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with this. And so it's actually just as it is. It's not as bad as it is, or it's not as bad as it seems. It's just as bad as it is. Yeah. So, if you guys want to take a picture of this, I mean, we just about finished. So, thank you guys so much for coming. I don't have a donation thing, so just put it next to the Buddha. Make sure it doesn't go down the path or the back end. But feel free to donate whatever you would like. And then for those of you who would like to continue your self-improvement, continue your change, and make sure that it's maintaining on the right path, you always are welcome in my community online. It's a free community, and I'm making posts, I'm making discussions, I'm creating courses, all about all these things, the motivation, the ideals, the modalities, coming up with stuff like this.
Can I also
Tell us more about your online community.
Yeah.
Who wants to know
One
Can I
second.
want to add to motivation as well. That as we said, lots of us agreed on that environment is very important. So like when we
That's the only one.
Yeah, environment is
building the new habits so important. Like I wanted to ask the guy we were torturing today, if you have not smoking friends, does it make it easier for you to hang out with them?
Definitely like taking myself away from situations that like could trigger me like easier or not hanging with smokers. But it's like the thing is that you cannot always do it. Like for
You
example,
cannot blame them for smoking.
yeah. Like for example, I do have like smoking friends, and it's like I don't know if I want to stop hanging with them because I love them.
What about setting some boundaries with them and just like putting some healthy things where you can just say, guys, I'm actually struggling quite a bit, so maybe you guys can support me, and if they're real friends, then they'll
But the thing is,
support
like-
you and not smoke around you. I don't know
I never really wanted
if
to.
you want to try that.
I don't know how to say like make people change because of me. Like I don't feel that it's like 100% fair for me to be asking them to change their ways just because I am feeling like I don't know like triggered. I feel that it's more like my responsibility to be like dealing with this instead of like putting that on them. So that's why I never really like asked for it. For example, when I quit, like I was living with my roommate and she was like a big time smoker. Like literally, when she was waking up, like first thing she was doing was smoking, right? And like 3 cigarettes, like one after the other. And it's like, I don't know, like I didn't feel like it was fair for me to be asking her to change her ways just because it was difficult for me.
My point is not like avoiding these people, but adding more people and hanging more with them, or even accountability bodies, like the best thing
Yeah. Wow.
there is. And I wanted to ask if you have this in your community.
I do. There's a whole page that you can just find a person if it's online or there's other people that are in Danang that are also in the
That's
community
cool.
as well. Just ask us like who wants to be or like I'm looking. I have these sort of values. This is what like I'm doing in my life. This is the type of job I'm doing. Like who is also in a similar path that we would like to hold each other accountable for this type of habits or this type of values or this type of success that you're trying to look for, right? And like you guys can talk every week, you talk every month, whatever it is, 2 weeks. That,
I'll
like,
get married.
Why not?
or get married, yeah. Get married to your kind of labor.
Hold yourself
That's
Easier.
But yeah, you can just message me, and also I'm starting to create just a updates and like I guess you could say reviews or just like updates and just like reminders on WhatsApp for this specific workshop in Danang. I will also be starting to do one in Hoi An. Also, so there'll be 2 times a week, but I have to find a place in Hoi An, so I will keep you guys updated if you guys would like to join that one ever. Maybe I'll start, maybe if like, maybe pushes back an hour as well, might be 10 o'clock, that'd be nice to do. If I don't know.
And then we go from
Yeah, and then we go to Sasha's and do ice bath right after for those of you who like ice bath. But yeah, so message me and I'll put you into the WhatsApp group for the reminders and the updates. And then I'll also put the group chat or like the community link inside of there. And we can talk more, create posts, discussions, all this type of stuff that we really like to dive into. The community is called Entre Pioneer. Entre is a word for beginning and new, and pioneer is for someone who is looking for something. So it's like, and it's just like, it's almost similar to someone who is adventuring into something. And so you're adventuring into yourself as a new intern. I always say it's very important to be an intern in life. And so that's what we are doing, because we're new to this world as it ever is. It's always day one. So anyways, thank you guys so much for coming again. Back into action, and I'll let you know the updates about in Hoi An and the time change if that will happen for next week. So And then yeah, just leave your donation on the counter. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I would like to take a photo, a group photo as well.
Yeah.